It's me. So I just wanted to talk about the whole what is this? What do we want to call this? The Womanosphere. I have not been watching much of YouTube, especially like long form videos. I've just not had a lot of time. I've been going through some stuff, so I've been dealing with that. But there was a time where I was heavily watching a lot of the ladies after I was told about like Sinji. And then she got kicked off YouTube, and then she kind of went to Patreon, and so I kind of left her there because I wasn't gonna pay for that. And then it was just a lot of gossip and things like that. She made some good points, but the energy was just not for me. I understand that she does have a lot of knowledge about psychology and things like that, and a lot, like I said, some of the information was good, but just the energy was not for me because at the end of the day, I love men, I love Black men, and I'm not going to just paint all Black men as these you know animals, and so same thing for like Princella. So I found Princella Clark and her takes on the language and psychology and how she used the science and everything and just knowledge, laws of power, how she was dissecting the videos of the men in the manosphere and their statements and kind of using men's own statements to kind of catch them in these hypocrisies, right? So I love that exercise of logic that she offered in the male psychology and male-female relationships. But things I did start feeling the energy kind of going another way. There was a couple times that they like blocked me from the chat because I like asked a question, and I was like, okay, this is getting a little. And once I feel like people are censoring people, it's like that. Now it's time to go because that's where we start getting into like, why are you censoring me? Is this fascism? Like, what is going on? Like, what are you trying to pull here? And so that turned me off a lot. And then some of her antics about like boy moms and like how you should treat your boys, I just didn't think was helpful to the community because it's like, if you're saying men are the problem and men are perpetuating toxicity, then why would women then be off-putting to their own sons? I just didn't understand how that would help at all. Like, these are my children, I should instill in them some of these values rather than just go, oh, he's a boy and he's too old and he's just done, he's finished, he's tainted goods. And that was kind of what I was gathering from her, so I just kind of started tuning that out. And then on top of that, around that time, that was when she was dating B Taylor, and the energy was kind of turning kind of weird. And then we kind of started seeing like, oh, maybe she's just recruiting, lesbian lovers or something. I don't know. And then B Taylor basically came out and explained that she felt like she was groomed and she was in a narcissistic, emotionally abusive relationship with this woman. And, she told her whole story. And then, so those who chose to continue to put Princella on that pedestal after that, you are officially in the cult. But we have our weaknesses. Just girl, get out before you hurt yourself or somebody else. But around the time I found Princella or Sinji, so somewhere in between Princella and Sinji, I started listening to Alexis Tyler. And Alexis is old school. Alexis Tyler is just so unhinged. I love her so much. She's country, she's pretty, she's just witty and funny. But she was also given like a lot of gems about just kind of maintaining that real like gangster femininity. And I love her for that. And I still love her to this day. So Alexis Tyler can do no wrong. I really feel like people were intimidated by her because she was one of the original like OG YouTubers, public access, channel. Like, she was doing it back in the day. And she said that their like Queen Afua like had an issue with her and tried to set her up. So I totally could see that, like, allegedly Queen Afua did that to her. But I could totally see people being intimidated by her because she just had an aura and she was like ahead of her time. Queen Afua, I never really attached to like that. it's just because it just seems so not necessarily inaccessible, but it's just something about her energy was, I mean, maybe because it's generational too, but something about her energy was giving to me an air of like superiority, and just it was just inaccessibility for like me at that time. I can see where it helps with certain women, but it's not even inaccessible for me. It just feel like I knew, like I was kind of beyond some of the stuff she was teaching. Like I know about crystals, I know about what I eat, I know about, meditation, I know about how to use essential oils and make my home a spa and a healing place for myself and my family, and respect the men in my life, etc., etc., right? I mean, I need some help with that sometimes, but it be y'all. And then so the next person I think I kind of latched onto was, and I don't want to say latched on, because I think at this time I was very much in a mutable place where I was just like, I am not going to become like led by anyone. I've never been a follower anyway. I've always, walked to the beat of my own drum, and hell, I'm just rebellious anyway. Sometimes I will just do the other thing, just to do the other thing, sometimes. And just, because sometimes people just need to be shown, like, I don't have to do what you say. Like, it just doesn't matter either way, but since you're so adamant about it, let me show you. And so there is a lot of there's a lot of backlash that's going now around Shera. And so Shera, I found, I want to say like somewhere around when I found Princella and Sanji, or after Alexis. And Shera, I love Shera just because, she's got that Pisces energy. She's a mortician, so I'm very much into the 12th house energy, Scorpio energy, like witch, dark, like death is not the end type, vibe. And so that was what I think initially attracted me to her. And then of course she's just gorgeous and she's funny and witty and older, and I think we're around the same age. But so Shera, I think was one of my favorites immediately, just because her energy was just so it's just a whole nother energy. Like if you watch her channel, you don't walk away feeling negative or hopeless, or like you gotta go fight everybody, or like everyone's lied to you your whole life. It's more empowering than anything, because she's telling you, like, you need to take accountability for what you're doing, and why are you playing by these rules that you've let everyone else put on you, and just being more thoughtful about taking care of yourself as a woman, being more in your feminine, being more receptive to masculine energy, keeping your children in mind as far as their safety and security, and your own future safety and security, so that when you select men, that you're picking men that are providers and protectors of you and your family and your home, right, and are going to make sure that you're good regardless. And so I don't see where like we all went wrong here, that now women are attacking Shera. I know that there was also the spiritual whistleblower. I started watching her. I want to say around the time I caught on to like what even the Manosphere was. And so, and that was around the time I think Princella, because she really pointed out the Manosphere, and like, Myron and all those guys, Fresh and Fit. And so, when it came to who was I talking about? Forgot just that fast. Spiritual whistleblower. I think I found her on Don't Call Me White Girls podcast. She was on there for an episode, and I was like, oh, this is cool, because I mean, whistleblower is like already like lit. And then spiritual, like, oh yeah, I love spiritual stuff. So I was like, okay, let's check her out. And so her channel and her format is, her platform is mostly involved with narcissism and identifying narcissism in men. But I think she started doing some videos on narcissistic women, and then Shera became like went in her sights, and so so it's been a while since I really watched her, but I remember that it just became where like it was like almost every video I clicked on, she was talking about Shera, and I was just like, okay, why are you obsessed? And it's giving you're the narcissist, it's giving you're jealous or something, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this to be on Shera's, like, you know, she don't need me on her stuff, but I say all that to say I do feel like there's a lot of toxicity in the womanosphere. And I mean, competitiveness is one thing, but like when you're trying to tear another woman down with like the kind of things that I think that women are that they're trying to pin on Shera is kind of dangerous. Because the whole thing with the trophy wife, where she was talking about how she got married. I didn't see all this. I'm just reading from comments because I didn't have time to like go find all these original videos and things. But basically, what I get from it is reportedly the trophy wife. You know, she has a platform on TikTok. I don't know what other platforms, but she was taking on like a Shera B kind of vibe, where it's like, I learned from Shera. I got married in a week. This guy takes care of me. He's a protector. He's a provider. And so ultimately, she'd done a video where she explained that her children, her young girls, 4 and 2, had been SA'd by their father, her husband. And some people even said that they'd heard the girl screaming in a video that she was just like recording. And then the girl's like, you can hear in the distance, like saying that she was, screaming ouch and like screaming like she was in pain. And so I'm so glad I didn't see that because God. But yeah, so given that, and then all of the hate that Shera's been given, everybody decided to pile on and like connect this and say, well, Shera taught you, she learned from Shera, and this is what happens when you listen to Shera and try to date for money and date men for financial reasons, because they're gonna hurt you or in your children. But I got to even find in the trophy wife because I didn't even know anything about this. I think I saw like the clips, but I never clicked on it because I had no idea what it was. And so Shera, I had a live and I clicked on it, and somewhere in the midst of that, she just started going on a rant because someone mentioned the trophy wife, and then that's what made me go dig in this hole and figure all that I discussed out, right? And so Shera basically was saying like, she said she got that from me. She was like, well, don't say you got anything from me. I didn't tell you to be dumb. I didn't tell you to do this. I didn't tell you to do that. And you guys don't get things in complete context because you're watching clips on TikTok instead of watching my whole channel and reading my books and learning and taking notes and really thinking for yourself, because ultimately that's what I do. I teach you how to think. I don't teach you what to think. And so I talked about this on my TikTok as well, and I just wanted to say this here is too, is like we cannot get into this constant cycle of women of blaming everyone else. Like you can't do it. It's very sad what happened to that woman and her girls, but at the end of the day, that woman has to take accountability for who she brought into her life and who she let around her children. We are ultimately the guardians of our wombs, and therefore are the guardians of those children. Like if we keep trying to separate ourselves from that, we are going to end up in a very bad place. This whole election cycle that was kind of built on women attacking their own wombs in a sense, because they were so impassioned by abortion rights, to me is very indicative of a psychological break, wherein you're not realizing that you're advocating for the demolishing of the very thing that gives you most of your power, if not all of it, is which is your womb. And not only that, Rizza Islam just had a post where he was talking about how the menstrual products are causing toxicity in women and fibroids and preventing healthy births and things like that, and probably messing with our mental. I know when I had like an IUD, I remember I was definitely feeling some side effects, and psychologically, physiologically, like just was not feeling it. I got rid of that like so quick, and I don't think I ever used like a traditional like any permanent birth control like that again. And there's lawsuits for the Depo-Provera. We do the perms, and I know there was was issues with that, with the brain tumors and things like that. There's just been so many things. The cell phones, when you put them in your pockets, they're messing with your reproductive system, your brain, your heart, all of that. Your vagus nerve, especially if you're on it at night, that light, it's messing with your circadian rhythms. Like we're constantly working against ourselves and our nature. And so women, we don't need to add to that by doing things like attacking other women. The matriarchy definitely fell because women started attacking other women, and we're still doing it, and we think we're leading ourselves into this new era of bad ass girlhood, and it's just not there. I mean, like, y'all saw the Barbie movie, and we're not doing that. We think we are, but we're doing it for causes that are not our own. I mean, I just feel like if they are our own, we need to ask ourselves why. Like, why am I so encouraged by abortion versus, schools or the economy or public safety? You know what I mean? So I say all that to say I just want us women to just take a step back and turn it down and get out of our emotions a little bit more and get more into our heads and more into feeling where we need to go morally for our future generations, not just what we want right now. I feel like Shera has that in mind, so that's why she's one of my favorites still to this day. I still will listen to her. I don't treat everything she says as the gospel because, again, she is telling you how to think, not what to think. And I've never been a person who's going to let someone else tell me what to think because that's why I have my own brain. I'm not going to I'm not going to try to tear down another platform because something that they told me didn't work in my life. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I didn't follow the steps. You know what I mean? Like Gordon Ramsay can show you how to make a whole, 5-course meal. If it don't turn out like Gordon Ramsay's, are you going to go and petition to have Gordon Ramsay removed and stripped from the internet? Doesn't make sense. So let's relax. Let's stop trying to block that woman's bag. If your bag is built around tearing down her bag, then you may need to think about your own value and your own worth. I love the Trap Witch. I meant to mention her as well when I was talking about the other women. I found her just recently, and I love her platform as well because she's a former sex worker who's giving a very intimate perspective on men and her dealings with them when they're a little less guarded, and then I think because she has such a non-judgmental perspective, it's just very attractive. She I don't agree with all of her politics, but I just enjoy her energy because it's very empowering, and I think that's what most women want, is to feel empowered. But we can't start looking to put ourselves in an echo chamber and run away from accountability and then create a world where only men have to do what we want them to do, and then we don't ever have to do what we're supposed to do, because it's just not, it's high time we all put all hands on deck, and it's just not feasible. We have to work together. Women have to work with other women, and women have to work with men. Men have to work with other men, and we all have to protect the earth and the world and our children. So that's all I have to say about that. But let me know your thoughts. If you guys follow any women out there, content creators, let me know. I found a few podcasts. I listen more to the podcast now, like astrology and just women empowerment or women in business when I do want to hear women talk. But let's just be mindful of the people that we're consuming, and then not necessarily wipe them off of the face of the internet or the globe just because we don't agree with something that they say, or we don't find that their truths or their advice hold in our own lives or those of those around us. All right, well, thank you. That's it. Bye.